The day I turned 23 years old, I ended up making over $50,000 on my birthday from my businesses, and it was all because of this lesson that my father taught me about a year and a half prior when I was graduating university and about to head into the real world. And I have this Google Doc here that I typed out where I actually want to map you through step by step what this lesson was, and also, more importantly, how you can implement this if you're a complete beginner, just starting different online businesses and you're looking to find success online, or even if you already have an existing online business, how we can avoid making this mistake because you might be making this. All right. Now, for a little background on myself, 10 seconds, and then we jump into this Google Doc. My name is Richard. I own and operate 3 companies. Collectively, now I'm 25. These companies have done over $20 million in sales. My public-facing company is an online university, basically where I teach ordinary people how to create extraordinary income online. And really, just as a side note, a big mission behind why I do what I do is because as a Christian growing up, I was really discouraged and criticized by other people in my church community, Bible study group, my small group leader, on the fact that you can't make money and be a faithful Christian, a faithful person at the same time. And that's just such a terrible limiting belief. And so also just something I'm very passionate about is if you're a person of faith, even if you're not, this is something hopefully that inspires you. I really do believe that my God called mission is help specifically even people of faith break that limiting belief and just know that, dude, you can make money and help a lot of people. And that's 100% a good thing. Don't be ever criticized by people in the church telling you otherwise. All right. Now, I'll give you a little context before I jump into this lesson. I come from a Chinese immigrant family, born in the States. My parents, my mom and my dad, they fled from communist China when they were university students. My father starved when he was a kid because of how bad things got in his family. And he had to literally become valedictorian, number 1 in his high school, to be one of the 5 kids out of 500 students. Literally 1% of students got to go to university because there just wasn't enough universities in China. So he was 1 out of 5 kids out of 500 that went to university. And then from there, he ended up getting a full ride to the University of Maryland in the States. And even after all of that, getting to the States, he experienced racism. People made fun of his accent, his appearance, the fact that he was an Asian. And the one thing that I saw from my father, and the thing that he really, really passed on to me is, dude, life just isn't fair and nothing is guaranteed. Being a valedictorian didn't mean jack to him. Getting into top university didn't mean jack. And the lesson he taught me, and this is something that I really, really want you to take heart of here, said, Richard, nothing in this world is guaranteed, and you deserve nothing. You must earn and work for absolutely everything. And listen to me closely when I say this to you. There are no free lunches in this world. You got that? Wind this back 10 seconds, rewatch that, write it down. Okay. And I worked really hard when I was in high school. I didn't do that well. I wasn't very smart, like from an intelligence standpoint. But my father, because he taught me, constantly reminded of these things, I worked my ass off. All right, I worked my butt off to get into university. I got into UCLA, number 1 ranked public research university. And my family and I, because we didn't have the money, we took on a lot of student debt. It was $32,000 a year in-state tuition, which meant over 4 years, that was $128,000, over 6 figures to put me through school so I can get my biology degree. Now, I remember when I signed the contract and we submitted the first year of tuition, my father, he looked at me and said, hey, Richard, our family, we're taking on debt so you can go to school. Do you see anything in this contract that says, by the way, you're guaranteed if you graduate, you're going to get a job that pays you $8.3 thousand a month, that's 6 figures a year as soon as you graduate? And I remember when he asked me that, I said, no, there's no guarantee. He said, yeah. And do you see anything in the contract that says, by the way, if you try your best and you show up to class and you study and you give it your hardest, you're going to get a job that pays you 6 figures? And I was like, no, like that's obvious. There's no university that guarantees you a job coming out. And my dad said, damn right. Damn right. Because you're not going to get a participation trophy, Richard. You're not going to get an A for effort. And the biggest lesson that he was really trying to pass on to me is that just because I got to university and I got into a really good university, that shows nothing for if I'm going to be successful in life. And that also gives me no guarantee where I can't rely on the university. I can't rely on UCLA, right? And it was just such a big life lesson that my dad kept on reminding me. Your professor's not going to guarantee you success. The prestige or the reputation of your university isn't going to guarantee success. There are no guarantees in life. So by the time I graduated from university, and I'm not going to cover in this video, but basically I realized that God's calling for my life was not to be a doctor. I had some pretty crazy encounters with the owner of Gymshark, if you know the fitness company. I ended up meeting him. He gave me some crazy advice, and then I heard the story of a pastor who gave me some supernatural advice. You can go watch my other YouTube videos on my channel for me to talk about that. But basically, by the halfway point in university, I realized, okay, I think God is calling me towards building a business rather than going the traditional path. What I started applying to business was the exact same principle. I told myself, okay, so university doesn't guarantee anything. But then I remember when I first bought my first couple of courses online, I started jumping into online coaching programs and investing money for my part-time job. I would constantly think to myself, and I had to correct, and I saw other people asking the same question. They said, wait, is there a guarantee? I need to see a guarantee. Or a lot of time they would have this entitlement, right? They'd be super arrogant and be like, oh, I'm not joining this thing unless I see that there's something on paper, some guarantee, and I got to see it. I got to see that you guarantee my success. And the biggest lesson I want to pass on to you here that I made it through to the other side is, my friend, if you need a guarantee, you've already failed. Because you're relying on a piece of paper to guarantee your success. Let me ask you something. Just think about this. Level with me here. Let's be very logical. There's Harvard, Stanford, UCLA, Princeton, the best, most prestigious universities in the world. Do these schools guarantee your success? Do they say, oh, by the way, if you pay us $100K and you make it through end of university, if you don't find a job, or if you're just not happy with your experience, we'll refund you your whole $100K? No. Do they say, oh, do they give you an extension? Oh, if you don't find a job, don't worry. We'll let you retake your senior year. We'll let you retake your freshman year. And we'll let you keep taking classes over and over and over for as long as you need until you find a job. No, there's no university. In fact, I guarantee you're probably kind of laughing like, dude, that's so true. The traditional universities that have been around for 150, 200 years in the United States, there's no guarantee. So then what's the real key here to success? The real key here, and here's the second word I want you to write down, is extreme ownership. Extreme ownership. You have to take 100% ownership over every decision that you make in your life, and that means every failure and every success. And you got to put the blame 100% on you. Because, look, and I want to make it very clear, because I don't want this to discourage you, right? This should feel empowering. In fact, I'll say to the wrong kind of person who already isn't going to be successful in life, they're going to go, oh, well, dude, if there's no guarantee, I'm just not going to try. Yeah, well, dude, you're never going to be successful in life. I'm just going to be very honest with you, and sorry to be blunt, it's just the reality. But for the right person who actually is going to get to 5K a month, 10K a month with their business, whatever that business is, and one day become a very, very successful, highly, highly successful business owner, and I know because I fall under this category, having gone through all these different hoops, you practice extreme ownership. Now, even though there's no guarantees, something I want to make very clear is when you go out and you find a mentor and you go and you seek after mentorship, you buy a coaching program, whatever that may be, even though they don't guarantee you something, right? Results or whatever that may be, there are mentorships out there that can significantly position you to achieve success way faster and way more affordably than what a four-year university can go through, right? But the one thing you need to know absolutely is that the same way as university, mentorships, coaching programs, you can't physically, and I say this being both on the customer side, having bought over $200,000 now in the last 4 years of different mentorships and coaching programs, and also being on the service provider side where I mentor a lot of my mentees on building successful businesses, okay? You can't, like these universities, we can't physically move your bones. I can't jump into your seat and I can't fly over to your home and take your thumbs and make you do whatever the action steps that you need to do when it comes to your online business, right? At the end of the day, success is 100% your responsibility and no one else's, right? By the way, if you want this Google document that I'm typing on right now, and a lot of you are like, oh, this is really good notes. YouTube still doesn't give me the feature to send you a message. So just go ahead to my Instagram. My Instagram is right here. It's also in the link in the description, Richard YUZEE. This is my profile. And just hit this, drop me a follow because I post business content here every single day that's going to inspire you. Like I share my story, I share tactical steps. So, I think you're really going to like it. So drop me a follow, but more importantly here, send me a message. There's that little message button and DM me there and just message me the word YouTube and I will immediately give this Google document over to you. Okay. Again, I can't message you on YouTube. The feature doesn't exist. So if you message me there, or if you just have any questions or you just want to connect, like, yo, this is a really good video. If you have any questions, I try to respond back to all my DMs. But again, message my Instagram, the word YouTube, and I'll send you this doc immediately. And then if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer your questions about this, all right? Now, I want to talk about this common theme that I see across all my successful mentees, okay? So a few different examples. Lucas was a mentee of mine. He was a university student who part-time built a business selling digital products, and he got to $98,000 in cash, money in the bank. I think he was 19 years old. It was his second year in university. It was insane, right? Jennifer, she was working a 9-to-5 job as an engineer, very demanding schedule. She did $42,000, I think. Yeah, 42. You can see the screenshot here in her first 30 days. Kaylin, he was in Eastern Europe. He was also working a super busy 9-to-5 job, balancing that also with his family commitments. He did $10,000 in his first 30 days. All of these individuals, the one thing that they all have in common is this. Not a single one of them ever looked at me and said, hey, Richard, can you guarantee me success? Because fundamentally, all of them have come to acceptance. Hey, Richard, regardless of whether you are a good mentor or not, and I know you're good because obviously they invested into my mentorship, but they all knew, Richard, the success that I have is not because of you, it's because of the action that I take. And whenever I have mentees that end up having really good results, I never congratulate them and say, oh, it's because of what I taught. I would say, dude, you're going to be successful regardless because you have the character traits to be successful. You're going to figure it out anyways because you took full responsibility. They all fundamentally understand that there's no guarantee in life and there's no guarantee in business. Okay. So in my mentorship, for example, we don't have guarantees. Okay. Because a guarantee attracts just the worst kind, the most lazy, doesn't want to work hard. Oh, I want to see a contract. And if there's no contract that says I'm going to be successful, then I don't want to do it. And they just blame other people. It's just the worst kind of mentee, the worst kind of client that you ever want to work with. And if you start selling digital products, I'm just going to give you a pro tip. If you give people a guarantee, oh, if you don't get results, then you get unlimited coaching for 5 years. Dude, you're just going to get the laziest people. Terrible, terrible clients. You don't want to do that, right? And personally for me, the only reason why I even have a mentorship, I'll tell you like my transparent reason, because I know there's just like there's like a bad reputation in the space of like, oh, people just want to sell you a course. Dude, the only reason why I personally have a mentorship is because one of my companies is a private equity firm. That's just a fancy word of saying I buy a percentage of my most successful mentees' businesses. I invest into them. I inject capital, whether that be advertising, human labor, or just funding resources to help them scale. And I transparently only want to work with people that have the character traits to not just build a $5,000 to $10,000 a month business, but eventually partner up and grow that business to $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 and more. So I only want to work with people who know that success is their responsibility and 100% on them, right? So, what my mentorship is about, if you're curious, we show complete beginners how to sell digital products, and especially this is the key here. Digital products that they didn't even have to create. They can leverage other people's digital products with something called digital arbitrage, and earn anywhere from 30, 40, even 50% of the commissions on these products. Doing so, either building their own personal brand, or if they don't want to show their face, there's even a way to do it faceless. Okay. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link below. You can apply. I'm very selective with who I work with. I'll just be very transparent with you. But if that is something that you really want to do, feel free to apply with the first link down below. And again, if you want this Google document, this notes, I'm telling you, if you understand this principle and you fundamentally, truly believe and understand, you internalize what it is I'm trying to teach you here, which is that there's nothing guaranteed in this world for you. There's nothing that you deserve, and you have to work and fight and give your absolute best and point the finger in the mirror back at you. I know this is a very serious video, but I really, really do hope that you see the positive light to this, which is that if you are the only one that can guarantee your own success and no one else out there, well, that means then you're in full control. My friend, you're in full control. And that should be the most empowering thing ever. And because of this principle, I ended up making a lot of money, millions and millions. I made $500,000 my first year out of university, starting a digital product business. My second year, that business made me over $3 million. Third year out of university, I ended up doing over $7 million. And it's scaled beyond my wildest dreams, but it comes down to what's in here. You fundamentally understanding that you are the only one that's responsible. There's no guarantee. You should never expect a guarantee. You should never expect a free lunch, expect anything of anyone else, because my friend, there's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantees in business. The only thing that you can guarantee is your own work ethic, and if you are willing to show up. My friend, remember that how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll see you next time.